D.B. Cooper, an enigmatic figure in American history, is the pseudonym used for the unidentified man who orchestrated one of the most audacious and perplexing hijackings of the 20th century on November 24, 1971, a date that remains etched in the annals of aviation and criminal lore. This individual, who used the alias Dan Cooper, later erroneously referred to as D.B. Cooper, boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, a Boeing 727, at Portland International Airport in Oregon, under the guise of a routine passenger. The flight, scheduled for a brief trip to Seattle, Washington, took a dark turn when Cooper handed a note to flight attendant Florence Schaffner, who initially thought it was a simple flirtation. Upon reading the note, she realized the gravity of the situation. Cooper claimed to be carrying a bomb and demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, 2 primary and 2 reserve, and a fuel truck ready for an immediate refueling upon landing in Seattle. Demonstrating a calm and collected demeanor, Cooper opened his briefcase to reveal what appeared to be a bomb, convincing Schaffner and the flight crew of his seriousness. The plane, carrying 36 passengers and 6 crew members, circled Puget Sound for approximately 2 hours while authorities and airline officials scrambled to meet Cooper's demands. The ransom was collected from local banks, with the money consisting of 10,000 unmarked $20 bills, and parachutes were sourced from a nearby skydiving school. By 5:39 p.m., the aircraft landed at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, where Cooper took delivery of the money and parachutes, then released all the passengers and 2 flight attendants, who were allowed to disembark. Cooper's remaining crew, Captain William Scott, First Officer William Radachak, Flight Engineer Harold Anderson, and Flight Attendant Tina Mucklow, were instructed to remain on board as Cooper made further demands. The plane was to take off again, heading south toward Mexico City at a low altitude of 10,000 feet, with the landing gear down, the wing flaps set to 15 degrees, and the cabin unpressurized to facilitate his escape. The aircraft, now in a state of heightened tension, took off once more at 7:40 p.m. in compliance with Cooper's instructions. As the plane flew south over the dense, dark forests of southwestern Washington, Cooper donned a pair of dark sunglasses and retreated to the rear of the cabin. At approximately 8:13 p.m., the crew felt a change in air pressure, indicating that the rear air stair had been deployed. A distinct shift in the plane's dynamics suggested that Cooper had jumped from the aircraft, although the precise moment of his exit was unknown to the crew, who were sequestered in the cockpit. The plane continued its journey to Reno, Nevada, where it landed safely at 10:15 p.m. Upon landing, authorities discovered that Cooper, the ransom money, and the parachutes were all missing, leaving behind only the mystery of how and where he had vanished. The FBI, tasked with solving this high-profile case, launched an extensive investigation, codenamed NORJAK, which involved over 800 agents and covered thousands of square miles of rugged terrain. Despite these efforts, no concrete evidence emerged, and Cooper's identity and fate remained elusive. The investigation revealed little, with authorities struggling to piece together clues from the sparse evidence left behind. Suspected motives and theories proliferated, from the belief that Cooper perished during the jump to the possibility that he survived and vanished into obscurity. Various suspects emerged over the years, including Richard Floyd McCoy, who had executed a similar hijacking and was apprehended shortly thereafter, but was ultimately ruled out due to alibi and differing techniques. Kenneth Christensen, a former Northwest Orient employee with a background in aviation, was suggested as a suspect by his brother, who noticed similarities between him and Cooper, but lacked definitive evidence. Dwayne Weber, a convicted felon who made a cryptic deathbed confession, was also considered, but the FBI found no direct links to the crime. Robert Rackstraw, a Vietnam War veteran with a history of deception and parachuting experience, was another suspect, but he was officially ruled out by the FBI in 1979. Lynn Doyle, L.D. Cooper, identified by his niece Marla Cooper as a potential suspect, also failed to provide conclusive evidence linking him to the hijack. Despite these theories, the FBI's search for Cooper remained fruitless. The case's most significant breakthrough came in 1980 when an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram discovered a portion of the ransom money, specifically a bundle of decaying $20 bills, along the Columbia River in Washington. The discovery confirmed that the money had been distributed in the area, but it raised new questions about how it ended up there and whether Cooper survived the jump. The FBI's investigation remained open for decades, with new leads and theories continually emerging. In 2016, the FBI officially closed the case, stating that they had exhausted all leads and resources without identifying Cooper. However, the legend of B.E. Cooper persists, symbolizing the ultimate unsolved mystery and embodying the allure of a daring criminal who managed to evade capture and disappear without a trace. The case continues to captivate the public, inspiring books, documentaries, and a myriad of theories, each attempting to unravel the mystery of the man who managed to execute one of the most famous heists in history and then vanish into thin air.